All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another video. Okay, y'all, just back with a real quick post-fight discussion video. I know I talked about this a little bit on my live stream on Sunday, but I just wanted to kind of go back and do a little bit more of a discussion on this fight here because this was a disappointing fight, in my opinion. Denise Kielholtz versus Kana Watanabe. Now, it's like I said, this fight, it could have went either way when it came down to whoever was the strongest, but I just really thought that Denise Kielholtz would have been one of the fighters that would have showed that level up, to say, okay, this is what we got to do to go in there to shut down what Kana Watanabe has, and that's kind of what I was basing it off of, like seeing the mistakes that Kana Watanabe made even in her wins. I was feeling like, okay, Kielholtz is the one to go in there and kind of ride off of what Liz Carmouche was able to fully expose, right? Kana Watanabe doesn't have hands. She doesn't really have that defense. Like, she's not really a striker. She's a solid wrestler. She's a solid grappler on the ground. She's very dangerous. So I was like, okay, the main thing here is Kielholtz needs to just find her range, which is something I want to talk about here towards the end of the video is, just find her range and she'll be good to go, right? But she got pulled into that game plan, and that's where I just got a little disappointed. Now, it was a good fight, good performance by both ladies, but sometimes I'm watching these fights and, not even like as far as just like, oh, I'm going for one fighter. No, that's not it. Like, I can not even be a fan of a fighter, but if I just see like the holes in a particular fighter and I'm like, okay, this person has the tools to go in there and expose it, it gets disappointing when they don't. Like say with, Jessica Andrade, you can see all the holes in her game, and certain fighters in the past maybe had the tools to go in there and shut her down, but didn't, right? Especially like somebody, Joanna, goes in there and does it. But then when you see the next person have trouble or they struggle with it because they don't commit to what they have, it gets disappointing, right? So it's like not even a fan thing. It's just like an analyst thing, you know what I mean? When I'm just watching these fights and knowing what a fighter's capable of. I mean, the first round, like Denise Kielholtz, I thought right from the jump she had it. You know what I mean? Whenever she stepped in, she landed a nice combination, that right left hook, and had Watanabe on wobbly legs. I was like, okay, let her take a step back and then let her come after, and then she can land a couple shots. But I think she kind of stayed in that range too long. She tried to throw a couple more combinations, but Kana Watanabe did a good job of recovering. She did that little reach out thing, which ain't good. But this time, she still had the mind frame to grab the neck. She grabbed the neck of Kielholtz. And instead of Kielholtz, creating space or separation or breaking, she tried to fire off a combination, which to me, that was a mistake, because you try to fire off a combination in close, you're going to smother your punches, or, you'll give your opponent, the bigger fighter here in this case, chance to pull you down, which she did. She locked onto that neck, held on, and pulled herself in, and then she got the trip and the takedown, right? So from there, Kielholtz, she was grappling. She was into the game of Kana Watanabe. Kana Watanabe had some good success in this position, going for the back, trying to get that rear naked choke. Kielholtz did go in for like a arm bar at one point. But again, you got a big, strong physical fighter here that's, down with the grappling. She's going to know what's coming, and she can neutralize that. So after that rough first round, Kielholtz, she towards the end almost got locked into a rear naked choke, and, she was really putting strength on her. So I was like, okay, maybe she can go right back to the stand-up at the, next round. So again, Kielholtz, instead of, creating that space, she wants to step in and be offensive, but she gets taken down again right away. She picks it up right where she left off. And so, when they're on the ground in almost like a neutral position, she's able to, kind of stop the strength and the submission attempt from Kana Watanabe. She gets into that neutral position, and then boom, she loses a point when she does that illegal kick to the face of Kana Watanabe, right? And Kana Watanabe, she got a chance to recover. They got back up, right? And then took the fight right back down to the ground. And that's where I was like, okay, Kielholtz, this is where she's messing up. And that's where I was like, okay, this is probably going to be Kana Watanabe's fight, because she's continuously letting her take her down to the ground. And once again, gets to the ground, almost gets a rear naked choke on Kielholtz. She turns into the guard, but as Watanabe raises that guard, she locks her into a triangle and submits her, right? So, I just watched the fight again, and I was just kind of like, man, like, this is one of those situations where you're watching, you're like, okay, man, like, you got this. The blueprint is there. And, if you want to keep riding high, you got to go in there and, do what you're capable of doing, right? And that's what it is for me. That's why I just want to talk about the fight again, because it's one of those situations where, this is for any fighter out there. Like, if y'all are watching the fight game, fans watch the fight game, fighters, they have to go and really, really use what their strengths are. You know what I mean? You got to go for what you know. Never try to go in there and go blow for blow or tit for tat, unless you are trying to just go for that fight of the night deal. Like some people, they like to go in there and trade, like, just like if you go to boxing, like Mayweather Gotti, not Mayweather Gotti, but Ward Gotti. They go in there and trade. But, when Mayweather fought Gotti, he said, I'm not going in there just trading with this guy, slug with him. I'm going to box him until I can stop him, right? That's the whole point of it. Like, I think that some fighters, they need to really train discipline and patience. Like, Kielholtz, yeah, like, she's a very good striker, good kickboxer, good power, exciting, explosive, all of that, right? But I just think there has to be a point, even like, watching some of the rounds of the Velasquez fight, there has to be points like when you hurt that fighter that you don't just go all out and go crazy and smother yourself by trying to jump on them. Create that space and continue to do what got you there. That's what I said in my stream on Sunday, keep doing what got you there. Create that space, land the same intensity. Don't go in there and try to, put your weight on the person and give them time to clinch up and rest on you, or take you down and rest on you. It's all about continuing to do what you do and do what's working. Don't, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what it's all about. So moving forward for Kielholtz, I think that's just a big part of it. Creating range and getting off the best shots that she can get. With full extension and just that type of explosiveness. Don't get caught into that game. And I think she'll be back. But right now, it's just like, wow, because now she's on a 2-fight losing streak. Yeah, we can argue that Velasquez, that fight should have been hers. But hey, it's one of those things. Now she's on paper, she's taking 2 L's in a row. From here, maybe a fight with Deanna Bennett. Maybe a fight with Deanna Bennett or Liz Carmouche. Or if Alima Lay McFarland wants to fight, I think either one of those fights would be good tests for Kielholtz, just to see how her discipline holds up in there. Even Alejandra Lara, she needs to be in there with somebody that's going to really push her and test her IQ, right? Kana Watanabe, though, it's one of those situations where, yeah, she'll always win as long as she can get you to the ground, because I think she is that strong and that good of a grappler and wrestler. But the chin can be touched. Like her past 4 fights, it's always touched. The Ioane fight, Laura, she put a good fight on Watanabe. Then there was of course, the Liz Carmouche first round knockout. That's how you do it. Liz Carmouche wasn't playing. Liz Carmouche was on the road to the title, and then you see how she acted on that fight. She said, I'm not giving this girl a chance. I'm gonna hit her with everything I got, and then I'm gonna put her out. So it can't just be rock them and then fall into that game. You got to rock them until you can get them out of there. Or like I said, make sure you're on your game for the whole round, where you can just keep it standing. And that's why another thing I wanted to bring up was just like Denise Kielholtz. Viviane Araújo versus Andrea Lee. I felt Viviane Araújo had the better stand-up and snappier shots. Well, she did have the snappier shots, but when she knew Andrea Lee was going to go in there and work it with her and try to trade with her, strike with her, or she knew that her striking was just as good, Araújo took the fight to the ground. And that's all I'm saying. You got to be able to switch it up, or, make sure that you can use another strength that you have in your tool belt, From here, yeah, I think Kielholtz will definitely be back, but I think one of those names would be good. The former champion, McFarland, or Justine Keach, the one fighter that beat McFarland in her last fight, that would work, So, yeah, man, good fight all around. Final thoughts, though. Like I said, you really just have to stick to what you know. I can't say full on stick to a game plan, but it's about going in there and using what works in that particular fight, exposing your opponent's weaknesses, patience, and discipline in these type of fights. Combo Breaker 99, I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.